What happens when you feel that what you truly want doesn't match what's expected of you? What happens when that inner voice that wants to explore, enjoy, or even rebel clashes with another one that says, "You shouldn't do that"? This conflict, which many women live through in silence, was deeply explored by the psychologist Karen Horney. And today, we're going to talk about it, because understanding it can make the difference between living a borrowed life or one that's truly your own. Karen Horney spoke about a phenomenon that deeply affects female identity: the conflict between the real self and the idealized self. The real self is who you are, with your true desires, emotions, insecurities, instincts. The idealized self is who you believe you need to be in order to deserve love, approval, and belonging. This idealized self doesn't come from you. It's formed through family, cultural, religious, and social expectations. It tells you that you have to be always good, sensitive, helpful, perfect, slim, successful but not intimidating, pretty but not provocative, maternal but independent. It's an impossible list, a trap. And when your real self wants something that doesn't fit into that, when you want rest, pleasure, to say no, to ask for help, to set a boundary, guilt appears. You feel like you've failed, that you're not enough, that you're falling short. From a very young age, many women learn that there are correct and incorrect ways to be in order to be loved. Phrases like, "That's not ladylike," "Don't be so intense," "You have to be liked by others," "Don't cause trouble," "You're the strong one," "You can handle anything," become internal rules, and a silent belief is planted: to be loved, I have to become someone else. And so, you begin to disconnect from what you really want, to make decisions based on should and not on genuine desire, to put yourself last, to push yourself, to adapt, even when it hurts. Often, this clash between what you want and what you believe you should be isn't conscious, but it's there, and you feel it. You have a proper life but feel an emptiness you can't explain. You struggle to make decisions because you don't know what you truly want. You constantly push yourself, and it's never enough. You feel guilty for resting, for saying no, for putting your own needs first. You seek others' approval before your own validation. You feel trapped between wanting to please and wanting to be yourself. And the most painful thing, you begin to distrust your own desire. You ask yourself whether it's wrong to feel what you feel. And often, you end up lost in relationships, jobs, or lifestyles that don't reflect who you are, but that should make you happy. Horney said the idealized self becomes a kind of inner tyrant, a perfect version of yourself that doesn't actually exist, but one you constantly try to live up to. You try to be the perfect mother, the ideal partner, the tireless professional, the exemplary daughter. And when you fall short, it doesn't feel like a simple mistake. It feels like proof that you're not good enough. This internal model keeps you in constant tension. You can't relax. You can't make mistakes. You can't want anything that goes against that image. And deep down, you never truly feel enough. The more you move away from your real self to fit the ideal, the worse the discomfort becomes. You try to control everything so you don't fail. You sabotage your relationships, choosing people who reinforce your sense of unworthiness. You struggle to enjoy anything without guilt. You fall into a cycle of overexertion and frustration that never ends. And the worst part, the more you act from what you should be, the harder it becomes to know what you actually want. You lose yourself. Why does this happen? Because the idealized self makes you feel safe. Living up to that model gives a temporary sense of worth, but it's an illusion. Karen Horney explained that this mechanism is a way of protecting yourself from the deep pain of not feeling loved as you truly are. So you become a version of yourself that you believe will be accepted, but in the process, you move further and further away from the most authentic thing you have, your desire. How to begin healing this conflict, returning to your real self, isn't easy, but it's possible and deeply liberating. Here are some steps inspired by Horney's work. 1. Start noticing your shoulds every time you think, I should be thinner, I should be more positive, I should be able to handle everything without complaining. Ask yourself, who said that? Is that thought truly mine? Or is it something I've learnt? Start identifying the internal rules you've been following without question. 2. Reconnect with what you actually want. It may seem simple, but after years of adapting, you might no longer know what you want. Ask yourself, what would feel good for me today? What would I choose if I wasn't afraid? What excites me, even if it doesn't make sense? Starting to reclaim your own desire is a brave act. 3. Accept that not everyone will like you, and that's okay. Breaking away from the idealized self means no longer living for other people's approval. You don't have to justify your choices. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You have to be yourself. 4. Learn to sit with guilt. Guilt will appear because stepping away from what you should be is uncomfortable. But not all guilt means you're doing something wrong. Sometimes it's just your internal system resisting change. Learn to say, I feel guilty, but this matters to me. 5. Surround yourself with people who love the real you, the ones who love your real self, not your mask. The ones who don't expect you to be okay all the time, the ones who don't ask you to explain yourself. That kind of love heals too. 6. Stop pushing yourself. Start inhabiting yourself. It's not about doing more. It's about being more you, even if you're not always efficient, charming, or strong, even if you don't fit in, even if others don't understand you. Being yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. Karen Horney said it clearly. Emotional health depends on integrating your real self and your idealized self. When that gap shrinks, you start to live with more truth, more connection, more freedom. You stop performing, you stop pleasing, and you start choosing yourself. The conflict between what you want and what you believe you should be is a learned wound. It begins in childhood, is reinforced by culture, and shows up in the body. Healing it requires courage, awareness, and patience. It's not about changing yourself. It's about coming back to yourself. If this resonated with you, if you've ever felt like you were losing yourself just to fit in, this video is for you, because you're not alone. And because living as your real self isn't just possible, it's necessary.